18-6 during the year, and in his only start, that was back in game 1.
Game 6 of the ALCS tomorrow, back in Chicago. Avery's 1-2. Otis Nixon a late start. Now he charges hard and makes the basket catch thigh high for the first out of the ball game.
Reminds you a lot of Eric Davis, the way he holds his bat.
Base hit.
See, that ball was down around the hands. The 0-2 pitch was up around the letters. Anybody who holds that bat that low can handle the high fastball.
I guess he's actually 18 now. I don't think he shaves yet. He makes me feel old when I get out there. That's down the right field line and a fair ball. Justice on the warning track has to play it off the wall. Duncan is being waved in. Lemke with the relay throw to the plate, not in time. And the Phillies lead 1-0 on a double by John Kruk. The Braves had very little to say about the umpiring after the game, and none of what they had to say was controversial. Lemke under the pop-up. Certainly the Atlantans took the high road. Bobby Cox said about the call at first base on the bunt play, the call by Jerry Crawford. Number 2 behind Darren. John Kruk is the runner at third. The 3-2 pitch. He struck him out on a pitch out of the strike zone. First strikeout for Steve Avery. But the Phillies are first on the board this afternoon, 1-0 after a half inning.
And only the 4th pitcher in postseason play to do that in the history of the game.
And Otis Nixon leads off. He chopped the first pitch to short, and Kevin Stocker throws him out. We mentioned it's a little bit on the cool side here today, 62 degrees.
And Nolan Ryan with Jim Fregosi as his manager in 1979 for the Angels.
Down the right field line, Chamberlain on the run, has to play it on a hop. He made an excellent play with the bare hand to hold Blauser to a long opposite field single. As she has ever seen him before game 1. Lifts one to right. Routine fly for Chamberlain. 2 down. Blauser back to first as the sun
up and down, in and out, working a masterly game.
Well hit to right. Chamberlain on the run, watches it go off the top of the wall. Blauser is being waved in. Stocker with the relay to the plate, and he is no call yet. He didn't tag him. Out at the plate. Dalton missed the tag originally, but Blauser missed the plate. Threw 33 pitches in the first inning. And he's gone full with the leadoff batter, Chamberlain. And he struck him out for the first out of the inning. And the second strikeout of the afternoon for Steve Avery. He had a big at bat last night in the 4th inning. Delivered a sacrifice fly that knocked in the first run for Philadelphia. Sharply hit, but right at the shortstop, Blauser. 2 outs.
Out of the way.
Yeah, I wanted that one. That was soft enough that a play could have been made.
Trust me, none of them were soft.
Certainly nothing soft about that pitch. Finally, Avery puts away Schilling after an inning and a half. 1-0 Phillies. Schilling got him on 3 pitches for the first out of the second and the first strikeout of the afternoon for Curt Schilling.
Hitters like Justice, they're pitched inside so often.
Play at first base, the bunt play. The Braves were also upset about a couple of check swing appeals that didn't go their way last night. Pendleton lines one to left. Incaviglia made a great catch. Well, for all the talk in the series about Pete Incaviglia being a defensive liability, he says, take that. It was the winning pitcher, and he drove in the winning run. Well hit and hooking. Fair ball just inside the line. Chamberlain on it quickly. He throws a bullet to second base. 4 great defensive plays for Philadelphia in 2 innings. John F. Kennedy High School in Michigan to sign with the Braves. for $212,000. 1988. Down to McGriff. Nicely played. And one out. A 1-0 is popped up in shallow right. David Justice. 2 away in the third. In this series for the Philadelphia Phillies, we're in the 5th game, but they're even at 2 games apiece, and they're leading this one 1-0. And Kruk is aboard with 2 outs on the second walk issued by Avery.
Third baseman,
They're kind of.
But often on the instant read, Bobby's even nodding that that's correct.
Kruk runs, and Hollins looks at strike 3. We'll return to Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. We've seen many shots in this series of Lemke flexing that right shoulder that is really bothering him. That was not a good looking swing.
Yeah, and you could tell by that swing that that shoulder continues to bother Mark Lemke.
And a single. He scored a run. He had 160 during the regular season. Chopped off the plate. Duncan has to hurry. And he just did get it there in time to get Avery by a half step. Bobby Cox didn't get much sleep last night. He says he has 18 people staying at his house. After he got home from losing a tough game, he had to entertain for a while. That's a routine fly to left for Incaviglia. And Schilling works his first perfect inning. We've played 3 innings in Atlanta. The Phillies lead 1-0.
Returning from John Kruk's stag party. Avery, everything away from Darren Dalton. That's why the outfielders.
Avery struck out Incaviglia to end the first. Steve is now fan 5. And Incaviglia lifts a high drive to deep left. Gant looking back at the wall, and now with his back against the wall, he couldn't get it. Incaviglia on his way to third. Nixon had to track it down, and he's safe at third. A ball that could have been caught. The other was costly in last night's game. Lemke's error opened the door for the 2 unearned runs. With the infield in, Chamberlain lifts one to center field. Should be deep enough to score the run. Nixon with the catch. He lobs it back in as Incaviglia scores standing up. And the Phillies lead 2-0 on a sacrifice fly by Wes Chamberlain that brings in Incaviglia.
Pulls for him. A little body English. Help him score.
He wanted to have a vivid memory of his first postseason RBI. Stocker with a bunt. Avery on it quickly. And that ends the inning. But the Phillies capitalize on the Gant error. And after 3.5, it's 2-0 Philadelphia. Strike 3. Blauser caught looking at a fastball at the knees for the first out of the inning. That's the 3rd strikeout for Curt Schilling.
Fastball there, and he still fouls it off the other way. Couldn't get around on Danny Jackson last night.
Got around on that one. Great diving backhand stop by Hollins. Long throw. Didn't get him. So another fine play by the Phillies, but Gant simply runs too well. So the Braves have the tying run at the plate, and it's Fred McGriff who lifts one to left center, not very deep. Incaviglia makes the running catch. And Gant retreats to first with 2 outs in the 4th. 2-0 Phillies.
Change that very easily when he goes back to his glove, and that keeps him from stealing the signs.
That pitch sailed up and away. With Gant running on the pitch, he rounded second before putting the brakes on as Dalton got to it quickly. So the Braves have the tying run at first. The payoff pitch. He struck him out. After 4, 2-0 Philadelphia. Effectively. But accounted for the first run of the ball game. Justice hadn't played perfectly, very shallow and near the line and right. 1 out. Along the same lines as Darren Dalton's new 4-year, $18 million deal. Blauser throws him out. Nice play by Jeff Blauser. It was a sharply hit one hopper right at the Braves shortstop. Media in his post-game press conference last night. High fly ball in shallow right for Justice. And that ends the inning. The Phillies go in order. Halfway through game 5. Philadelphia 2, Atlanta nothing. When he went from Baltimore to Houston, he thought he had a bright future in the Baltimore organization. He met his wife Shonda while he was in the Orioles organization. That was the team with which he made it to the big leagues for the first time. Berryhill strikes out for the first out of the 5th, and a 5th strikeout for Schilling. And Schilling works a 1-2-3 inning with 2 strikeouts. We'll return to Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium after this message and a word from your local station.
Love that line.
In the air and left, and Gant just in front of the track makes the catch. Somewhat of a mock cheer went up as Gant caught it after he misplayed
Innings in game 7, and they got to him for 4 runs in the 7th and 8th, and we lost the game 4-1.
Pendleton, nice play backing up for the second out.
I'm obviously not saying that that's the case with the Braves because they blew the Phillies out.
And there she is, Lynn Austin Dalton, featured on the cover of Hooters magazine, publication put out by the restaurant chain. Dalton may try for 2. He took a big turnaround first and then put the brakes on as Justice did a good job getting to it quickly.
That's enough.
Big swing and a very high pop-up. It'll be close. Pendleton drifting over, and he makes the catch just in front of the Philadelphia dugout. We head to the bottom of the 6th in Atlanta, 2-0 Phillies. Merker said Thompson hits pretty well against left-handed pitching. There's ball 4. Nixon is aboard on the leadoff walk. When we noted to Vergosa that Thompson hits only 175 this year against left-handed pitching, he said, well,
606 and 2/3 innings in his career.
Blauser to right. Dykstra and Chamberlain on the run, and Dykstra makes the catch on the warning track. And Nixon returns to first with 1 out. Blauser hit it a long way to the opposite field, and Dykstra is backhanded by Hollins. That's to Hollins again, this time a double play ball. He double clutched, and as a result they get only 1. Nixon erased 5-4, and with as well as Gant runs, it might not have been a double play opportunity. He's done, but the hang-up was a clause in McGriff's contract that prevented him from being traded to an expansion team without his approval. He turned down the deal even after a lobbying effort by Don Baylor, the Rockies manager, and he strikes out in a big spot here in the 6th. That ends the inning. We go to the 7th, still 2-0 Phillies. 2-0 Philadelphia, top of the 7th. The changeup bounced down to third. Pendleton has no play. This is the first inning in this ball game in which the Phillies have had the lead man on. Stocker with a fly ball to right, and Justice makes the catch. 1 out. Schilling bunts. Avery goes to first. It's a lefty covering. It's a sacrifice. 1-4, and Chamberlain is in scoring position with 2 outs at full velocity.
Take an unusual lip reader to read Lenny's lips.
On the ground, right at Lemke. He smothered it and threw out Dykstra. 7th inning stretch at Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium. He is ability to deal with situations better. He is certainly much better dealing with the media. His ground ball down to first, and Kruk won the race to the base for the first out of the 7th.
Yeah, you could tell the way David is carrying himself this year, a much more mature approach.
Just recently came out. Terry Pendleton, the batter. One out of the 7th. Well hit. Stocker. Nice play on the one hopper for the second out of the inning. And Stocker has been very solid. His former mates, as it turned out, left on their road trip. Then he drove to Philadelphia. Said he only got lost twice on his way to the vet. Kruk, a nice diving play on the line drive by Damon Berryhill, and Schilling works a very quick 1-2-3-7. 2-0 Philadelphia. But as we go to the 8th, the Braves have a relief pitcher on the mound, Kent Merker, who worked last night. And he struck him out with a pitch low and out of the strike zone. At the conclusion of today's game, Tim McCarver and I will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game. He struck him out. Jim Fregosi mentioned that Kruk's problem last night was his head flying off the ball, and that certainly appeared to be the case on that swing.
I think of all the things
But the Phillies have the slight upper hand in the series, despite much from Hollins and Dalton. Blauser on the move. Nice play. And the Phillies go in order in the 8th after 7½. 2-0 Philadelphia.
5, 6, and 7 spots for the Phillies are due up, including Incaviglia and Chamberlain.
Lemke called out on a pitch over the outside part of the plate.
That's the 8th strikeout for Curt Schilling.
They're down to the final 5 outs, trailing 2-0. Little pop-up along the line. Batiste and Stocker, and it's Batiste. 2 down in the 8th. Schilling has retired 8 in a row and 12 of the last 13 Atlanta hitters. Strike 3. Another 1-2-3 inning for Schilling. He has struck out 9. On to the 9th, 2-0 Phillies. Over the second half of the season was the Braves' closer. He's making his 3rd appearance in this series, and Dalton lifts one to deep right. Justice on the run, looking up, home run, Darren Dalton. Dalton's first home run and first RBI in the series. And the Phillies lead 3-0. A little more breathing room for Curt Schilling in the 9th. McMichael making his 3rd appearance in this series. He's pitched 2 1/3 innings and has now given up 3 runs on 6 hits. Incaviglia's fly to right, handled by Justice for the first out. All of a sudden, a very silent crowd of 52,032 here at Atlanta-Fulton County Stadium. Popped up, shallow right. Justice again, 2 down. Chopped over the mound, charged by Lemke. And that ends the inning. An insurance run for Philadelphia on the Dalton home run. On to the bottom of the 9th, 3-0 Philadelphia. Blauser has one of the 4 Braves hit a first inning single. That's definitely high in ball 4. The lead man is on in 4 pitches.
You're down by 3. A line drive double plays in order, and Grant Gant runs well enough not to ground into a double play.
They do send Blauser. He hits it down to 3rd. Batiste dropped the ball. Once again, Schilling will have to watch and agonize from the dugout as somebody else tries to finish. The tying run is at the plate. Mitch Williams on to face Fred McGriff. First pitch hammered up the middle, base hit. Blauser comes around to score the first Atlanta run. Gant to third. It's 3-1 Philadelphia. We're deers that had just seen headlights in the dark. Justice to left. Thompson coming on to make the catch. They'll let Gant come to the plate without the throw. It's 3-2.
And you know, the crowd is applauding like something good happened. Nothing good happened in that at bat by the Braves because the Phillies got what they wanted.
3-2 Philadelphia. McGriff at first with one out. The 1-2 to Pendleton. Up the middle, a base hit. McGriff stops at second. Chopped up the middle, tough play. Stoker couldn't get it. Here comes McGriff with the tying run.
It's going to be out of the strike zone.
This will be the 8th pitch to Lemke. He struck him out. With the breaking ball down and in, a huge strikeout for Mitch Williams for the second out of the ninth. Winning run at third with 2 outs for Atlanta in the ninth. 3-3 the score. The 1-1 pitch. Fly ball should be caught. Dykstra. And we go to extra innings. The Braves get 3, but the Phillies have to be relieved that that's all they got.
If you're Wohlers, however, you want to keep the Phillies off the base more than ever.
Mickey Morandini batting for the pitcher Williams. Lifts a fly ball to left center, handled by Nixon, 1 out. Larry Anderson is warming up. It appears he will be the pitcher when we go to the bottom of the 10th. Fastball lifted to right, well hit. Nixon at the wall. Home run, Lenny Dykstra. We showed you earlier that it was 7 years ago today that Dykstra hit a huge home run to win a league championship series game for the Mets against Houston. And here in extra innings, he puts Phillies back on top 4-3. Blauser and Ron Gant against Larry Anderson, who has not pitched well in this series today. Strike 3. No argument from Duncan. He was frozen by the Wohlers breaking ball.
Play deep, deeper than normal for Kruk to prevent the extra base hit.
He tomahawks one right at Nixon. Again, they had him in perfect position. Lenny Dykstra with a home run to give the Phillies the lead. It's 4-3 Philadelphia as we go to the bottom of the 10th. So Anderson would bat on the number 2 spot on the lineup, previously occupied by Mariano Duncan, who is out. Pitched so well during the regular season, he said, well, we're into new territory with those 2 guys. Nixon drives one to right. Eisenreich with room just in front of the track. He makes the catch. One out in the 10th. As Fregosi said, Larry Anderson is. He struck him out. 2 outs in the bottom of the 10th. In the top of this inning, put the Phillies on top 4-3. 2 outs and the base is empty in the bottom of the 10th. The 1-2 to game. He struck him out. And the Phillies have taken a 3-2 lead, and they'll take that advantage back to Philadelphia.